There we go. It's you, Ellie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome For the Nerd. We are currently live on Thursday Night Football. Even a train comes to a stop. The Chicago Bears are currently winning. So who knew? We are here with Bradley Stadler, right? Is that what we say?
Yeah.
And we love it. We're very happy to have you here with Ryan and Louie. And we are ready to go.
Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up.
That's about as smooth as a transition as we've had all season, I think.
And it was kind of a joke, because Bradley, when Louie and I were talking about a football player that we will talk about later, whose name we just do initials. So I was going to call you BS, and so it was, and that wasn't recorded. So we are very happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Great. I mean, aside from the fact that I could have ranked Justin Fields and DJ Moore higher for the Fantasy Pros contest this week, and I was debating, and I was like, no, man, should I put him higher? Oh, that was a get right game last week, and maybe they're just going to continue that game plan. Well, they are continuing that game plan. They're annihilating the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. So, oh well, you can't win them all, but it is what it is. We're doing okay.
Yeah. Luckily, people over the age of 65 don't know how to access Amazon Prime, so they don't even know what's going on. So that's
See, do you guys watch it with the special telecast where it's with the stats and everything and the player, the Amazon Vision? That's a game changer for me. I will never go back.
Yeah, it's almost. Do you also do Red Zone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when you go 3-4 box, like life changing. It's
absolutely.
Who would have thought?
I do like
Oh, we have two other people in the room. I'm sorry, Fred.
We'll just remove ourselves. You guys, this is speed dating with Ellie Brady.
Brad and I are fine. We're good. So bye, guys.
I watched it for the first time tonight, and I think you're right. I don't know if I will watch it any different ways. Although I don't know what any of those numbers really mean. They tell me who's going to be great, so I know that I got some numbers for you guys later when I, convince you guys of some shit. But, I mean, Ellie, can we at least start, doing what, I always like to do? And can we talk about myself a little bit? Because I have an 8, and Bradley's laughing at me already. I get it. I just asked him, how early is it to get excited? And he was like, I'm not stealing your excitement, but I think it's a little early. But
I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth, Louie. I am here for the celebration. Look, real talk. I was very proud of my top 800 team. Okay. And then Louie comes in and is like, I've got a top 10 team. I'm like, I'm not even going to mention that, but now here we are. So
okay. So here we are, 8th place. Friend of the show, Mike Shope, sitting there in 20th.
Amazing.
Another friend of the show, King Kaz, Nick Constantino, millionaire already. 3 Buffalo people in the top 55, not to brag, but the number one guy, me, is in 8th place, and I'm sitting with DJ Moore on that team. So when we get our update tomorrow, I think we're gonna see Luigi and fuck Walrus Balls. He's going out of the top spot, and he's going into 2. I am. Pete Overzet was talking about this the other day, though. It was so funny. He's like, I want somebody so bad to win. Like, if I'm not going to win, I want Walrus Balls to win, because he's like, I just want to watch the people that have to do the ads, like, join BBM next year, just like our last year's winner, Walrus Balls. It's so great. But
raise your hand if that was your nickname in high school, guys.
I think that was Puka Nakua's nickname.
Yeah.
I thought it was you.
Again. Amazing, great, Louie. What wow, what a amazing accomplishment.
I think
I'm
I
really
told-
nervous because fear is behind you.
Yeah.
That's a little dark. But-
Fear has been behind me for 40 years now, Allie. So I think I know how to deal with that. But no, it's exciting. I told Bradley before the show, I think I'll start getting excited around Halloween. I mean, it does pay out regular season prizes this year, which is through week 14. So we're already I don't know math or anything, but that's like 29% or something through the year. Ryan, you're a fucking lawyer. Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm good at math. I'll tell you that.
He's
All
bullying
right.
us right now.
Enough about me. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about me throughout the show. But Allie, you got a fun game for us. And, an oldie but goodie. Me and former co-host Kyle Turner started this, and there were some fun episodes. So you tell us what we're doing here.
Yes, and Kyle could not be here because he's saving lives. So we are doing a used car salesman slash every car dealership that's in the world right now, because everyone has a used car. So players, you will have to convince the rest of the group on why we should be buying a low valued dynasty. So we're going to just do around the clock. And I have players already picked for you, and you will have to convince us. So first up, Louis with his 8th place. And this guy is mentioned at least twice on our podcast every week. Najee Harris, convince us.
Yes, Ryan and I will fight to the death on Najee Harris. I'm not saying that this wasn't randomized. I'm sure you picked this person perfectly without any knowledge of mine. But let me just tell you some stats about Najee Harris. 2nd in breakaway run rate, 13th in evaded tackles, 14th in juke rate this year. What does that mean? I have no fucking idea, but I'm trying to sell you guys. Najee's averaging 3.5 after contact. Jaylen Warren 3.4. He's better than Jaylen Warren. I'm sick and tired. I think Jaylen Warren's so good. Jaylen Warren sucks. The only reason why people want him to be good is because they think Najee Harris sucks. Does Najee Harris suck? I don't know, but he might not, and this is why. Your boy Ian Hartitz said you fucking take an hour to ask him for your pitcher, Brian Mura. Yards per catch up. Yards after contact up. Missed tackles forced up this year. I mean, higher than he's ever had. And explosive runs per carry, 12.2%, second highest in the league. Give me a first for him right now, and he's yours, because I have way too much of him and I'm overvalued. I'm sinking in fucking Najee Harris. Please take him for a 24 first. I told you all those nice things about him. I do think he does. All the jokes aside here, I think he rehashes some of this value here as the Jaylen Warren love goes down. I think that was very, very I think that was a real concern in this offseason because Najee was struggling and obviously we know what the situations look like. And Warren did look good in flashes. I don't see that this year. And I just don't see him ending up really threatening Najee for the rest of this year. But I don't give a shit about next year because I'm selling them to you guys. So,
are we buying? Are we buying what Louis is selling?
No, Ryan's not.
No. I'll throw you a 5th rounder for Najee Harris. That's about all I'm giving you.
No, we
Brad,
do.
Sorry.
We do have the number 1 Fantasy Pros ranker in the room. Bradley, what are we picking him up or are we passing on Louis?
I'm so out on Najee Harris. Louis could have said that he was the number 1 running back, in every single category, and I'd still say sorry. I'll pass on Najee Harris.
All right, we're benching him, Lou. We're benching.
Yeah, I have about 47 shares of them through Dynasty, and I just need to get rid of half of them. I'll be happy. Half of them. Okay. Let's real quick, because you play a lot of Dynasty too, Brett. I mean, what's a realistic ask right now? I mean, I don't think you're going to sell him for a second, and I really don't believe you're going to get a first for him. So, like, is there maybe a player comp that you could think of that might make sense?
Yeah, if you were looking at like picks, because that's immediately what came to mind when I'm trying to like move or pivot off of these running backs, because I think it's going to be hard to move off of Najee because he's 25, 26 years, almost 26 years old is the thing. And so we're looking at a player who's already at his peak. We're looking at a player who during his prime was not returning value for you. And so you're banking on like a Frank Gore, Latavius Murray back half of the career where he's like usable flex play for the next 6 years, but like that's a mid to high end second round pick. And that's, I think, what you're going to be able to get for him because, you know, you're the wide receiver equivalents are just, they have too much of a high, they're higher ceiling plays. Whereas Najee Harris is a high floor play. He's got the first round pedigree, draft capital. So teams, even if he moves on from Pittsburgh later on in his career, teams still value that type of profile and a player who's trustworthy and not going to turn over the ball. So that's, I think, in the back half of the career, like Frank Gore, Latavius Murray, like the gross guys who like are we look at it now and it's like, oh, ugh. But at this point, you're going to be hard pressed to sell Najee because you're not going to get back what you want for him.
I just quickly on Najee, and then we could move on, I think. But my only point on him is he's best to be moved in a sort of a roster consolidation type move, in my opinion, where you package him in either another player or another player and a pick, and you try to get that first round pick. I think you get the added benefit of not only those additional roster spots that open up, but then you can also combine to get the higher valued asset. So that's what I would try to do if I were Najee or moving Najee. And I did last offseason do that.
All right. I will say as a Bills fan, Frank Gore changed my life when he came to our team. So, and he was like 59. So
I know. And Latavius Murray, that felt super personal here on a Buffalo podcast. So you had to mention those two guys. Sorry.
But you're up next, Bradley. We're going to give you Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, so, hey, I want to talk to you about a guy that's been generating a little bit of buzz, and his name is Kyle Pitts. So if you have a moment, I'd love to share some exciting information with you. So, of course, we remember Kyle Pitts has that first-round pedigree, not only first round, but fourth overall, right? He has that pedigree. He has the athleticism. What makes him even more of an incredible talent is the perspective that Dalton Kincaid was drafted in the first round. Dalton Kincaid is 9 months older than Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is now into year 3. So Pitts is year 3, already has 1,000-year.
Ellie was about to flip a table thinking you were going to shit on another Bill. Ellie was about to lose her. She already had her teacher finger up. She was ready to go.
All right, but he's nice to Kincaid. He was nice.
So Dalton Kincaid, if Dalton Kincaid is the litmus test, Kyle Pitts is above that. He's already produced at the NFL level on a mediocre team. So one of the things that sets Kyle Pitts apart, and we kind of forget this, is his 98th percentile speed. He's an absolute monster. He's described as a unicorn, remember, guys. Right? So he's exceedingly rare. Like, they don't even exist in the wild, these unicorns. You can just ask my daughters, right? They ask for them every Christmas and they just can't get them. And every team would be wanting a Kyle Pitts on their team. He leads all tight ends in these critical stats this year, despite, such a bad fantasy performance. He leads all tight ends in air yards share, depth of target, deep targets, true catch rate, and contested catch rate. He is running all of the routes. So he's an integral part of this Atlanta offense. Investing in Kyle Pitts now is like getting in on a promising stock before it skyrockets. Just like you want to buy a stock that has enormous upside and minimal downside risk. This is the exact time to buy. Kyle Pitts' value hasn't been lower over the last 3 years. You look back even before he joined the NFL. A year before, he was the tight end 5 in the Devy dynasty rankings. and now he's back down to the tight end 5. This is the time to buy because it can only go up for him. We've seen terrible Mariota. We've seen terrible Ritter. We know that it's only up from here. Now is the time to buy because the price is so low. Go get yourself some Kyle Pitts.
Tight and strong. What do we feel, Ryan? What do we feel, Louis? Are we picking him up?
I am absolutely buying. I felt like I was watching The Wolf of Wall Street when Bradley was talking right then. And I am absolutely buying all the Kyle Pitts at the penny stock prices right now.
Buy the jersey.
He sold me. I was already probably sold as soon as he opened his mouth because I'm a Kyle Pitts stan and I will forever be. But excellent pitch. He's all the same reasons, his age, his breakout year as a rookie that's forgotten about. And call me an apologist, but damn it, I'm going to buy Kyle Pitts till the end of time. So let's go.
And I always, I want to find a way here to argue or play devil's advocate because that's just who I am, but I can't. Here's why I'm not buying him as much either is because how you talk about the stock market. Well, I bought him when he was at his highest. So I'm sitting here on my $10,000 2020 Bitcoin, like it's coming back, baby. I think I still have. I spent $50,000 on some Bitcoin. It went right down. And now I'm like, you know what? I think this guy might be useful. Again, sometimes, who doesn't need virtual currency that no one knows how it's made? I look at Kyle Pitts. I don't know how he's made. He's a fucking physical beast. He is going to come. And again, jokes aside, the knee injury this year, the fact that Arthur Smith is even like giving him that excuse now, and I am a big Jonnu Smith stan, so maybe you can't stop Jonnu Smith no matter who you are. I don't care if you're Kyle Pitts. So I think there was just a little bit of all that going on. The quarterback situation. If I give you 2 first-round picks or Kyle Pitts, can you kill Arthur Smith for me? That is going to be the situation here. I mean, until Arthur Smith is gone, I worry about this, but maybe this year.
Inception. That's what we need. We need to incept Arthur Smith. Dreams on dreams. Like Cordell Patterson isn't a thing. Jonnu Smith isn't a thing. Desmond Ritt, you should have gotten after Lamar Jackson.
No, we need to get Kyle Pitts into Horrible Bosses 3 so that he can kill his own boss.
Classic. Okay, so we're sold. Bradley, good job. You are the Volkswagen of our dealership. So thank you. Now, next up, no pressure. Ryan, you have Jackson Smith in Jigba, JSN. So sell us.
All right. So I've heard a lot of recent conversations and complaints about this player and his poor start to his rookie season. And admittedly, it's been poor. He's got 12 receptions for 62 yards through 4 games. But let me tell you about another player who had 10 receptions for 90 yards through his first 4 career games, had worse draft capital, arguably a worse draft score from all the athletic testing, the relative athletic score, and has now gone on to have multiple Pro Bowl seasons in his career. I'm talking about the one and only Davante Adams. Okay. Davante Adams was drafted in the 2nd round, picked 53 overall in 2014. JSN was a 1st-round pick, 20 overall. First receiver taken in his draft class. Now, draft pedigree is not everything, But what I will say is that over the past couple of years, we've seen an influx of talent at the position. So there's no denying that Jackson Smith in Jigba has a talent. He wouldn't have been drafted 20th overall if he didn't. Now, what was working against him at the start of the season? He enters training camp and gets a wrist injury. Takes him away from the field for a period of time. Maybe it threw off some of the rhythm that he was trying to get with Geno Smith. and it's shown in his production. But to be quite honest with you, if you watch the tape, and I'm not the type to watch the all 22, but if you watch what they're doing with him in these games, his average depth of target is just atrocious. They're throwing to him at or behind the line of scrimmage. And while he's certainly capable of doing that because he has such great, in the box athletic scores and quickness and agility, he's not really suited to that. He's an all-around receiver. He's shown the ability to go deep. This is the guy that set the all-time Ohio State receiving record for receptions in a single game with 15. And he also set the season total career for Ohio State all time for 1,606 yards in 2021, which is 2 years ago. Okay. He was injury plagued his 2022 season, and that's why he perhaps fell to the 20th pick. I think this is a guy that's just as talented as Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. They'll tell you the exact same thing. He's 21 years old, so he's a very young rookie. And if you think about the roster next year in Seattle, perhaps it doesn't include Tyler Lockett. So right now is perhaps your best buy low window because, oh, by the way, in week 5, Devontae Adams had somewhat of a breakout game his rookie season. So maybe this coming week is the week that he does it, although he's on a bye. So never mind. Forget I said that.
All right. We are feeling the potential of JSN. And also just a reminder, Ryan is an attorney. So it's always funny because you're just rattling off these facts that are
Allie's getting to the point where she won't look at me now. When you start talking after a minute, she won't, literally, I was trying to make eye contact and make her laugh.
Whoever you're talking against, I'm like, we should kill him. We should give him
I legit was going like this, trying to get her attention and make her laugh. I'm
buying what you're putting down.
I put the duck up a few times to try to direct her.
Well, when your clock hits 10:15, I know I've talked too long. So
okay, so guys, let's talk about this then. Bradley and Louie, we've got a young player with potential. What do we feel? Are we picking him up?
I think a good sign for a buy low is in redraft when the casuals are dropping them and they shouldn't be. And the casuals are definitely dropping JSN. And so when we're looking from a dynasty perspective, this is exactly it, because that's the general consensus. That is the mob mentality of, oh, they haven't produced for me, I can't stick them in my lineup immediately. But that is the production profile of most first-round rookie wide receivers. They're just not going to produce very much in the first 4 weeks. And then they start picking up weeks 5 through 8. And then you start seeing spikes weeks 9 and beyond. And that's just, we've seen historically that be the case. So of course you're buying anytime that this value dips, because many times people are like, I'm 0-3, 0-4, 1-3 in my leagues, in my dynasty league, and I don't see a way in which I'll be successful in the future. I need to battle back. I need to trade a guy just to get something that is usable for these weeks. And so I think this is a great time to be buying Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I'll go quick here just because we're running behind time and Ellie hates me. But nothing has changed with his value for me. I was buying him on rebuild teams and on win now teams. I wasn't expecting much from him, and I wasn't drafting him very high compared to the Addisons and Flowers. I thought that those guys would help me more on win now teams. So I would either move back because he was kind of, in that tier above, but I would move back to get those guys because I'm a big DK Metcalf guy. And so I just didn't see the way for him to become the alpha here anytime recently or anytime soon. Obviously, that's because Metcalf has continued, and fucking Tyler Lockett is just endlessly boring and fucking good. I've been fading Tyler Lockett for 10 years now. and he just goes 8 for 80 and a touchdown consistently, and maybe I need to stop fading him so he can get out of JSN's way and start sucking. But yeah, I like JSN a lot, and I would be buying him on some rebuild teams for sure.
All right. Sold player, Ryan. Good job. I think Ryan and Bradley, you both sold. I think you guys passed on Louis' player. Is that what
Sorry, Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So sorry. But number 8, how good is that? Okay, so next we're going to move on to.
Allie tries to make you feel a little better, Louis. The consolation, you know.
she always does.
Okay.
I sent her a picture of my ghetto ass 2-year-old today that just was like looking so like, you know, white trash on the porch in her underwear, and she was like, "Oh, so cute." I'm like, "Allie, you're always doing it. You're always."
At least she didn't have a like red popsicle mustache. That would have like made her a white trash kid in a October porch. Okay, so next we're gonna move on. I'll shout out to all of us white trash kids. Okay, next we're moving on to fantasy football categories. I will choose one player in one category, and you'll each have to name something within that category. Makes sense. Do I need to give an example? We're good. We're good. Also, update. Washington did score, and it's now 27-11. Wow. Okay. Okay. So we've got players. We've got James Cook, Drake London, CJ Stroud, Sam Laporta, Issiah Pacheco, and Jahan Dotson. So we're gonna go with my favorite cookie. We're gonna go James Cook. And if he was okay, should I read the categories?
Well, what we're gonna do, you're gonna just go. We'll all do 2. So, like, you pick one for me. I'll do that. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll all do 2 and get through the 6.
Do you want me to do the categories though? So
no, you don't have to say it. You could just give me the player. Give me a player and give me one of the categories, and I'll start.
I'm gonna give you James Cook and a former wrestling star.
That's good. All right. Ooh.
And be nice.
This is a good one. I will go with I didn't do this preparation, but I'm gonna go with Billy Gunn from the New Age Outlaws because he was part of a team, and I think the Road Dogg took all the attention from him. But Billy Gunn was good and boring a little bit compared to the Road Dogg, but he was solid and always put on a show. I think Cook is just not getting the I mean, he's RB5, right? Brad, you know these things. I don't. I just say things and then fact check later. But I do think he's RB5 on the year right now. I mean, and he's doing this on an offense that like refuses to use him in the red zone and or a lot. So like, I really like Cook here for the rest of the year. Because Brandon Beane has been smart and not really invested a lot in running backs. I don't know if I, invest huge, but I also don't invest huge on any running back in Dynasty because of the short lifespans. But for this year, I think Cook is going to continue his top 5 season and will finish if he stays healthy in the top 5. So I think badass Billy Gunn, boring, steady, part of a team that no one cares about him. I think that's a solid one.
Okay.
What? Did you not like that?
I think Cook is fun to watch, so I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, no. I think most people, I don't think there's anything really flashy or exciting about Cook. His speed came out the other day, and hopefully they start using that more. But I think he kind of goes on other teams. He might be more noticed on the Bills and this great offense. I think he's going unnoticed as far as like an important piece, and he's obviously a very important piece in this offense.
And if anyone accidentally started listening to this podcast who they don't understand the analogy, it's like being in a family of a Kim and you're the Chloe. It's just like he's got great blood. He's good. He's great at what he does. It's like perfect, but just not what his other Delvin gets. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you another one. Okay. Am I going to give us I always have to throw a shitty reference in. Who wants to be next? Bradley, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Or
Yeah,
would
let's
you
go for
love
it.
Let's give you a Sam Laporta as an alcoholic beverage.
Oh, okay. Oktoberfest, because it's quality, underrated throughout the off season, and good anytime.
Oh,
And, let's go.
oh, this bitch is ready. Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. And now let's go, Ryan. We're gonna give you CJ Stroud and a travel destination.
Ooh, okay. As a travel destination, I'm gonna say CJ Stroud is the Big Easy. He's New Orleans. I think the most impressive thing about him so far is he's come in, he's just looked the part, and he's made it look so easy. So great city, gotta love New Orleans. He's Big Easy.
I dig it. I dig it. I'll go. Okay, so Louis, you're next. We're gonna give you Issiah Pacheco. And let's give you a movie.
Motherfucker. You just picked the two I didn't prepare. Like, I got the 4 categories. I got the 4 different categories, and you literally picked the 2 categories I didn't prepare for.
Do you need to pause it at 13 p.m.?
No. Issiah Pacheco in a movie. So let me think of something boring but good. Schindler's List.
I knew you were going to say that.
Issiah Pacheco.
Not boring.
And I'm sorry, I know you're Jewish, right? Is that? I don't even know what the movie's about, but it's a.
I don't know what. Just take a guess.
Take you were Jewish 3 years ago. You just don't know you were Jewish, didn't you?
I always knew. Alone. Always knew.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Thank you, 23. Is 23andMe one of our sponsors yet? Please. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's just because the contrast between the movie that I thought for Issiah Pacheco is Wreck-It Ralph, just based on how he runs. So
it's so good. The 2 differences. No, boring but still good. Schindler's
Well,
List.
if we're sharing our movies,
Okay, yeah.
might as well. Blazing Saddles, because it didn't have a long shelf life, and you couldn't make the jokes today that you did back then. It will not last long.
That is, I like all 3 of them, even though I am
unlike Schindler's List, which will last hundreds of years.
Let's just talk about Issiah Pacheco for the next 20 minutes. I feel like we're really on to something. Go ahead. Go ahead, Haley.
Okay. Just 6 million people died. Okay. So.
It was a boring movie. I can't do anything about it.
Did you watch it?
Did
you ever watch the movie?
I truly didn't. I tried a few times.
Which part did you say too much for me? Too much.
It was just.
Which part?
It was the part like 20 minutes in where I was like, this isn't Game of Thrones. And so it was so weird each time. I'm like,
he was expecting dragons.
Listeners,
there's no dragons in this.
I can't wait to hear all of Louis' fictional kings he picks for our drafts later.
Oh my gosh.
Spoiler, right? Okay. Okay, so all right, we're good. All right, I like Ryan and Bradley. I like your choices.
We had to redeem Louis a little bit there. Sorry.
All right, you missed a couple weeks ago where he said, "I don't vote," and we're like, "What?" Okay, all right. Okay, let's give you. We're gonna give you Jahan Dotson, Bradley, as a sitcom character.
Sophie from How I Met Your Father, because she's good, but will always be overshadowed by the How I Met Your Mother characters. That like it just will not be enough. Just overshadowed. I'm sorry, Sophie. Like we love Hillary Duff, we love her. First round capital. We love Jahan Dotson, but we'll never be Terry McLaurin. Sorry.
I dig it.
Underrated reboot, by the way. It was. I mean, even the original show is very like I don't know if this is good first,
Right.
but I'm going to sit here for 8 years and find out. but the remake, I did not hate. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
The accidental "did I hook up with my biological dad" thing was messed up too. That is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, guys, whoa. Okay. We'll talk about that another, right? But great, yeah, great reference. Ryan, any thoughts?
Nope.
Ellie really threw for a loop there. Ellie did one of her therapy appointments, and it's just
the first episode, Hillary Duff is she hooks up with a guy that she finds out could be her like biological dad, which is like because her mom hooked up with someone at like a festival, right? It's wild.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
anyway.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, Hillary Duff, nasty. Okay, in a good way. Okay. Drake London, Ryan. And if Drake London as a singer, what do we pick?
Drake London as a singer. I'm gonna just go with a band instead, if that's okay. But
Yeah.
Drake London as a band is Nickelback. Okay. Nickelback it serves a purpose. All right. When you're out and you're mowing the lawn or you're trimming down some, cutting down some trees or whatever, you want to listen to some Nickelback. And honestly, you know what you're going to get with Nickelback. All the songs kind of sound the same, right? It's just that, it's like it fires you up. But you're going to get mid-range WR2 production from Drake London. It's not going to be that great. You're probably going to get between 9 and 13 points, but it's going to come through for you sometimes. So that's Drake London is Nickelback to me.
Okay, so just to clarify, Drake London is a chore that could be dangerous and you could die from, that you hate your life slowly. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great great band from. Okay, so week 5 sleepers and busts. We're just gonna say who we think is the sleeper of the week, who's the bust, and as I always say now every week, just look out for the Vikings. They did win, but they're playing the Chiefs, so the Chiefs could be the sleeper of the week. Okay. Let's go with Bradley. Who's your sleeper / bust of the week?
Yeah, so I'm famous. I don't know if Billy Muzio has ever told you this, but I'm famous for my deep cuts and deep cuts of the week. And so this is a sleeper deep cut of the week, brought to you by Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. This week's sleeper of the week is Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a consistent startable wide receiver 4. He's finished better than wide receiver 42 in 3 of 4 weeks. He's playing 80% of snaps, especially with Treylon Burks now being out. He's wide receiver 23 in red zone targets, wide receiver 32 in yards after catch, wide receiver 15 in fantasy points per target, and he faces an Indianapolis secondary that gives up the 5th most passing yards on the season. Give me a real deep cut, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
Wow, great.
That's a deep one. I like that. I like that.
If you guys want the bust, or are we gonna do sleepers one round, or we just do sleeper bust? How we
What do you want to do, Ellie? Should we go around with sleepers first?
Yeah, let's do sleepers first. Okay. Yeah, I take it. That was a great pick. That was side 2 of the vinyl. Let's go, Louis. Who is your sleeper of the week?
I really think DJ Moore is going to have a huge game this week. And, I don't know what it is, but I just, it's a crystal ball. I'm going to know. Mine is Tank Dell. And I mean, after you go, Tennessee's the wide receiver 3, I feel a little bit, I feel like Tank Dell is almost like cheating, but AJ Terrell is going to follow Nico Collins around. I mean, he has been following the number 1 receiver almost weekly. That's how they just play. So they really do play matchup there. And I think, you've seen kind of back and forth between Collins 1 week, Tank Dell 1 week. They both had the monster week 3. I think this week might head back to Dell, and because Terrell won't be on him. And I'm going to go Tank Dell. Stroud is, not to go back to the last segment, but if I got Stroud for the beers or the alcoholic beverages, I was going to pick sour beer because he looks like shit. He looks nasty, right? This doesn't look good. And then it's not fucking bad at all. This is delicious. And I think Stroud's the real deal. And I was on him over Young, but I still didn't know if either of them were going to pan out. I think Stroud's going to be the real deal. I love Tank Dell this week.
Dig it. Ryan, who is your sleeper?
My sleeper is Rashee Rice. So for a couple of reasons. So first of all, over the past 2 weeks, he's been 50% route participation, which is compared to about like 20% his first 2 weeks. So they're slowly breaking him in. He is a rookie. So, we can expect as the season goes on, like Bradley said, to see production increase. And if we look at the last 2 weeks, he had 7 targets and 5 targets the last 2 games. And he's also facing a Minnesota defense that's 5th worst at the position. So you combine all that and you say, I should start Rashee Rice because I do see him being involved in the offense. I think, and just a quick note too, as going forward in the next couple of weeks, he has a great couple of matchups coming up. He plays, they play Denver, then the Chargers, then Denver again, and then Miami before the bye, all of which are plus matchups for the wide receiver spot. So this is not only a recommendation for this week, but I think actually the next couple of weeks, you're going to see him, rising up those waiver wire articles if he's not already been scooped up. So pick up and start Rashee Rice if you have a tough call.
I dig it. Next, we are moving on to busts. So just my little inside info is that we both have Hoyer and Von Miller playing in London, apparently. So I think Bill's defense is going to really do something to the Jaguars. So they've had time to stay in London for a bit, which will affect the team. So I'm going to say Jaguars as a bust, which I think everyone kind of feels that way, right? Maybe. Okay. Maybe. All right. It's tough. It's the being there for that long is not great for the Bills that the Jaguars have adapted to the time and the schedule. But
they are
they're
also in the breweries and drinking. They're going to soccer games.
Players have a 10 p.m. curfew, and the wives and wags, they are not allowed to stay anywhere close to them. They're in a different part of town. I know that.
They're only eating beans and toast, though. I mean, that can't be good for the system.
Crumpets, some crumpets.
That's carb loading. That's like energy. And I know that I think they left today, which is Thursday, so less time to goof around. But that's my bust, or is the Jaguars. Screw them.
Well, I'll pick it up right from there then, because that mine actually is a Jaguar that I'm picking as a bust. So Allie calls the sleeper of the week the Kansas City Chiefs, which that's pretty funny. And I picked Rashee Rice. Now she calls the bust of the week the Jaguars, and this is unplanned. But my bust of the week is Evan Ingram. Looking at most of the consensus rankings right now, he's tight end 3, which it strikes me as too high. I think that he's been solid, but nothing special this year. He's filled a role, and I just don't think that. I mean, I don't know the numbers behind this, so this is less of a numbers type driven pick, but just a gut feeling and instinct is that he's not going to be the one that's going to eat the targets. It's either going to be Kirk and or Ridley, and so I expect the Bills to try and take away the middle of the field. And unless he gets a red zone target and gets saved by a touchdown, I don't think he's going to pay off his tight end 3 current ranking. So Evan Ingram is my bust of the week.
I dig it. Mom, can Ryan and I get bunk beds? Like, awesome.
Hey. We become best friends. Yeah.
Awesome. Great pick. Anyone? Well said. Well said. Bradley, would you like to tell us your bust of the week?
Sure. Cortland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. The Jets have 3 of the top 22 PFF coverage graded cornerbacks: Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II. And we are not expecting a shootout between Denver and the New York Jets. I mean, Zach Wilson is throwing the ball, right? But Sutton, his fantasy value over the last 4 weeks has been buoyed by 3 touchdowns in those 4 games. Like, those are nice, But let's look at the last 4 weeks of wide receiver 2s on a team and how they fared against the Jets defense. Week 1 was Buffalo. Gabe Davis went 2 for 32 on 4 targets.
You're cutting fucking you are asking to never be invited on this podcast again. There's been a lot of Bill Slay here.
Look, we'll continue on. Week 2, Michael Gallup, 1 catch for 3 yards on 2 targets. Devontae Parker, week 3, 2 catches, 19 yards, 3 targets. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was operating as the wide receiver 2 last week, 1 reception, 6 yards, 3 targets. They shut down the number 2 receiver on a team based on snap counts. It's clear the Courtland Sutton is that guy alongside Jerry Jeudy playing on the outside. And those are what those 4 players profiled as outside wide receiver 2s. And Sutton, he's going to get shut down in week 5.
We hate Sutton. Well done. All right. Well,
I like that, Brad. I can see that happening, and I like your reasoning there.
Despite the Gabe Davis slander.
Yeah, besides your day. Listen, I give enough Gabe Davis slander. That's like one Buffalo Bill. We can talk a lot of shit about. He catches the ball like a seal. I don't even know why.
Who needs seals here? Get out of here.
You're the body. I hate him. I have a really good Gabe Davis story, but we don't have time. Anyways, I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins here, mostly because Cleveland has just been really, really good against the pass. Their defense just in general is like been great so far this year. Hopkins is a dying
Cleveland's
asset.
on bye, Louis. Cleveland's on
What's
bye.
that?
Cleveland's on the bye.
No. Are they playing Tennessee?
Indy is playing
Louis
Tennessee.
just
That's why Nick Westbrook-Akine is going to eat.
Oh my God! No,
He's got to redraft everyone. Be right back.
No, was I
Adjust
looking at the wrong week? Yeah, I was.
You
Sorry,
just lost
Louis.
$2 million.
No.
8th place revoked.
Yeah, 8th place
Yeah, right.
revoked. I'm looking at the.
Moose Knuckles is going to move up to number 6.
Am I not looking at the right thing here? Yes, I'm looking at week 5.
And walrus balls.
What is fuck walrus balls?
I think I need to change my username. I think we all need an animal and some random body part as our underdog names.
Parakeet Pecs coming up. Yeah. Okay.
These rankings are. Are you sure Tennessee's not playing Cleveland?
They're playing
Yeah.
Indy.
What is going on with these rankings? I'm literally looking at them.
I don't know. It's 10:13 p.m. and
I know. It's 10:12. It's 10:12. Fine. I will go. This isn't. I feel like this isn't as much of a sleeper as I wanted to go.
Bradley, are you going to reveal yourself as walrus balls now? Are you?
I'm gonna go Raheem Mostert
Ryan
and
is
whatever.
here.
I don't think that's really stretching things now because of the emergence of our boy H-Han. But I do think that this is just going to escalate even more here. I mean, H-Han is by far the better athlete, the better runner. I know that they love Mostert there, and he'll still get some goal line carries, and he'll still get a decent bulk. But I think it's going to continue to go in H-Han's favor. So I will say that, and this isn't just picking off of last second. Everywhere where I had guys like Pacheco, Brian Robinson Jr. tonight, who's not doing anything, Breece Hall, all these guys I've started this week over Mostert. So I think I'll go with Mostert here and kind of play it safe.
All right. You know, when you are short on rent, so you have to move your checking account money into your savings account, and you're like, hold on. Yep, it'll be right over. That's what Louis just did right now with like 15 of his fantasy players. He was like, yeah.
One, you can't say that when you showed us a picture of when your husband was on the Simpsons. Like you
no,
can't make a comp about when you were broke. Shut up, Ellie. You go yachting on Wednesdays. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right.
I went to France. There was bed bugs. Okay.
I got a quick 3-minute. We'll do a 3-minute game, and then we'll go to our draft because I know we're running late. But this was crazy. In London, we're going to London this week. The Bills are in London, blah, 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 blah. I looked up to see when the first game was played in London, not remembering how long ago it was. And it was in 2007 between the Dolphins and the Giants. I'm going to give you guys some names. Let's go quick. I need you to tell me whether or not this person scored at least one fantasy point in that game. Okay. And I'm going to go through all three of you guys. All right. We're going to start. You go, all three of you. Ryan will start. Jeremy Gray.
Jeremy Gray. I'm going to say no.
No. Allie, go ahead. No. Bradley.
I'll be contrarian. Might as well. Let's go. Yes.
Okay. Allie and Ryan, you are right. Jeremy Gray was Vince Vaughn's character in Wedding Crashers.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
It was a good game.
Go, Patrick Cobbs. Let's start with Allie. Patrick Cobbs.
Ty Cobbs' nephew. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Bradley.
Yes.
I'm also going to say yes.
You guys were all right. Patrick Cobbs had fucking 7 carries in that game, like 2007. Where was I? Who is this guy? Anyways, all right. Let's go with Cleo Lemon. Ryan, we'll start with you.
Yes.
Bradley.
No.
Allie.
No.
Cleo Lemon was the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins that game and completed 8 of 22 passes. So he was very good, but he did score.
Did he get any fantasy points? Was he in the negative?
Yeah, he did get fantasy points.
Did they count sacks against him?
Yeah. Aaron Halterman. Allie, we'll start with you.
Halterman, I barely know him. Sure, he did. Yeah.
Okay. Bradley.
No.
I'm also going to say no. That guy has offensive line vibes or just a movie character vibe.
Yeah.
He had now this is going to be questionable. He had 1 catch for 0 yards, but I'm going to go with PPR. I'm going to give Ellie the win. PPR. I only play PPR, so we're going Aaron Halterman.
Except for your 8th place team in Underdog Fantasy. Get out of here.
Never heard of this guy in my life.
Revoke the 8th place.
Him and his noodle arms. Get out of here.
All right. 2 more, and then we're done. Richard Stabone. Let's start with Bradley.
No.
I'm going to say Giants, yes.
Okay. No, Richard Stabone was Boner from Growing Pains. The 90s sitcom, whatever. So good. All right. Last one. Luke Brower. Allie, we'll start with you first.
Yes.
Bradley.
Yes.
Ryan.
We'll say yes.
You guys are all wrong. Luke Brower was Leonardo DiCaprio's character on Growing Pains. So when he was the adopted
What are you binging, you weirdo?
If you haven't watched Growing Pains, you should. All right.
That was a disaster.
That was fun. And don't worry, Ellie, this draft, we're only going to do 22 rounds, so we'll be done in no time. No.
30-second clock.
Draft, 4 rounds, all-time best Kings. Be as creative as you want. You guys know the drill. I'm going to do the randomizer right now. Sorry, I should have done this before the show. Number 1, Ryan Mura. Number 2, Bradley. Number 3, Allie. And number 4, I always get the 4th pick. 4, Louis. I always get the last pick. I hate it.
I like the last. You want to switch?
Yeah, I'll go 3.
Okay.
All right. I'll go 3. You go 4.
I'm
All right.
so nice.
I just want to be something different. I always get 4. All right, Ryan, go ahead. You start the Kings draft. Who is the number 1 king?
Well, I'd like to say this is the first time I've ever drafted Kevin James, but I drafted him last week.
Yeah.
We're taking him number 1 overall, the King of Queens. Not only do we get the great meme potential now, I mean, that picture goes with
Yes.
absolutely any caption.
Man, that
I
wasn't
now
even
have
on my
had
board. That's good.
successive weeks of Kevin James on my drafted teams for the show. So very happy to welcome Kevin James to the squad.
That's good. That's good. Go ahead there, Bradley, with the second pick. Who are you taking?
Yeah, second pick overall. Bradley Stadler selects the Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
The
Awesome.
Burger King because of his, the free crowns that he gives to the children. I've got plenty of children who need the crowns.
That's that. I mean that one. I didn't cross off Kevin James because he was too smart for me. But Burger King was very high on my list. I like it. I always go a little off the cusp with these things, and it hasn't worked for me, right? It hasn't. We haven't won one this season. I'm gonna go power here. I'm gonna play the crowd. Martin Luther King needs to be. Should have been the 1-1, but Mr. Ryan Muir is gonna get Kevin James. But I'm gonna go with Martin Luther King here as the number 1, even though he was picked in the 3rd spot. So I'll go Martin Luther King.
All right. All great picks, gentlemen. Did not have Kevin James on my list, so sorry. So I'm gonna go. Hopefully you have some nerds out here. King of the North, Jon Snow as my number 1.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a good one. I'm gonna keep in my pocket that I'm pretty sure no one will touch. But number 2, King LeBron James, all-time leader in points, 4th career assist, 4 NBA champions, 4 MVPs, 4 Olympic gold medals. King.
Both really high on my list. Wanted them both more than Martin Luther King.
But you wanted,
but I wanted, I'm playing to the crowd here. Having 2 really high guys there being taken from me, it threw me for a loop. I'm going to do the Minnesota Vikings. Wait till the last second here. I'm not going to lose the pick, though. I think I want to go with Wayne Gretzky here. One of the best Kings of all time, right? You get it, Los Angeles Kings. No, okay. Everybody shut the fuck up. It was cool and it was innovative, and I don't like any of you. I'm going Wayne Gretzky and suck it. Bradley, go ahead with your next pick.
Yeah, we can't pass up King Tut because King Tut, not only, Egyptian pharaoh, you got to love Egypt, but also Steve Martin has an absolute bop.
Yes.
And we've got a theme song. So let's play that theme song. It's okay. You can add it in the audio later. But
I scrambled. I'm like, let's do it. Oh my God. Ellie, before the show goes, when we do categories, she goes, can you do pictures of the players? I'm like, I don't even know how to turn my computer on. What are you talking about?
He's rubbing the popsicle stain off his daughter's upper lip. He's like, no.
I have a buddy that does podcasts, and it takes an hour after each podcast editing them. I was like, I don't even know how to do that. I hope I never say anything that's going to cancel me because it just goes right to publish right after. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so I get 2, right?
Yeah, you get 2.
So my first of 2 is going to be King Julian from Madagascar. The guy that does the I like to move it. That's the greatest song in that movie.
Yes.
So King Julian. And I'm also going to take another animal. It's going to be Mufasa. He's the king. Yeah.
There we go.
King Julian and Mufasa and the King of Queens. I've got all my bases covered. Happy with the draft so far.
Can't tell that you're a father of 2 little kids. Can't tell.
Yeah. All three of us that have kids are like, yeah. Ellie's like, oh, my old men that I love don't watch cartoons.
Right. You just wait till my draft. No, great job. I love the Disneys, guys. Good job. Next
So it looks like I am next, and I decided to be seasonally appropriate because we've now entered into spooky season. It's October. The king of horror, Stephen King,
That's good.
is my 3rd round pick.
That's great. That's a really good one. I like that. He was on my list. It's my 3rd pick, right, Ellie? I believe, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know where I'm good. Because I got one that I'm worried about you taking, but like I also feel like you need this person, so I'm gonna leave that person, and maybe I'll talk about it later. But King Kong needs to be picked here, and I am gonna go King Kong with my 3rd pick. There is no way that he cannot be drafted in the King draft. So I'm going to go King Kong. And Allie, you are up for your last 2 picks.
Okay, this is where it's a struggle for me. So my background is in early modern European history. Gentlemen, put your dicks down. I know. And I know. That's my background. So my favorite king of all time is King James VI of Scotland, who became King James I of England. He was Mary, Queen of Scots' son. After Elizabeth I died, he became then King of England after he was already King of Scotland. So it was just amazing. It was he wanted to combine Europe, but instead he combined collectively made peace with Scotland and England, which was so good. I
got to put the duck back up.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, King James.
You lose your icon with that. Sorry.
Okay, but I'm telling you, changed history. Also was the first Stuart after the Tudor dynasty. Okay. So him, and then moving forward, the king of the castle, Borat.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. It was the worst Borat impression I've ever heard in my life.
Is that enough? No, I went from I want to talk about history to I got the wiener. Okay.
So I gave you your guy on a plate. I was hoping that you would take him
Henry VIII for you to give me.
I was leaving somebody for you, and now your draft is done. No, your draft is done, but this guy is right up your speed. Old, rich, not very cute. No, I'm sorry. That was mean. I feel like you like cute.
Does he have a pulse?
Yeah, I don't think so. Larry King, he's dead, right?
Oh, all shoulders. Oh wait, guys.
You heard Larry King's name and you just started.
That's my Larry King impression. It's all shoulders.
Wait, Larry King's dead? Yes.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know, but
wait, this has been sponsored by Louis has a GED. All right. Okay.
Why does my GED have anything about knowing whether or not Larry King's alive?
You can't log into a computer.
You like old guys, and you just needed to just stick the knife.
Well, you always bring out the GED, and I just wanted to say that, I think we all raise your hand if you knew Larry King was dead. Audio listeners, everyone, including Louis, raised his hand. I'm sorry, my dog.
I still want him on my team, dead or alive. I'm taking Larry King. Go ahead, Bradley, with your last pick.
Well, this one is a fantasy football shout out. This is the last pick of the draft. That's the league winner. And the league winner is also the regular season Best Ball Mania 3 winner, and that is King Capital. We're drafting King Capital as a top 4 round pick. King Capital, winner of the Best Ball Mania 3 regular season. Let's go, King Cap.
And I will be dethroning him. Brian, last pick of the draft. Who you got?
I'm going to be taking King's Cup, the drinking game.
Oh,
King's
that's
Cup.
good. That's good.
Yep.
Wait, is that just not a local thing, Brad? You know what King's Cup is, right? No, you don't? Okay, so he doesn't. I wonder if that's just a local Buffalo thing. Let's take 4 games to drink heavily. I don't know.
No, I think it's a thing. I mean, I looked it up to make sure that it's, actually a thing, like not just like a Buffalo thing, but I have seen it's on Google, so it must be a thing.
On Google, therefore.
All right, that was our Kings draft. I'll put the results up on Twitter. You guys can go vote. A couple misses here. Don King, King Louis. I took I could have had the easy one there. Billie Jean King, King Kong Bundy. Allie, you look like you had a couple that you wanted to spit out.
I almost drafted Prince's dad, John Lewis Nelson, who would technically be a king.
That's good.
I like
as
it.
well as Elvis, who was the king of rock and roll.
Yes.
Elvis was on my list too. Guys, that was a great episode. We only went 5 minutes long. I definitely thought we were going to go 45 minutes long. What's the score of the game, Ellie?
It is 30-20. Bears are still leading.
If they give up 2 big leads
it's gonna
2
happen.
weeks in a row, it's going to get. I'm looking forward to it. I have a little bit of this wine left, and I'm going to go sit and watch DJ Moore score 3 more touchdowns, and maybe Jahan Dotson could score 1 for me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. That would be great.
We got 10 minutes left. Bradley, would you like to plug anything?
Yeah, sure. Y'all can follow me on Twitter at FFStalder. Do a lot of work for Player Profiler. Do rankings every week. It's a lot of fun. And of course, lots of shout outs to all the guys at the Fantasy Football Expo. Ryan, Louie, this was a lot of fun. Allie, it was great meeting you as well. This was great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Great takes. Let's go. What are we in week 6 now?
No, 5, right?
5? I know. I don't know. You're in 8th place, so you're in 8th place. It's amazing. So it's good luck to Louie. Hopefully pushing up against Walrus Balls. And I can't wait.
I just want to stay close to Walrus Balls, I mean, if that's not the motto.
Did you think you'd be saying that, 5 weeks into the season? I want to be close to Walrus Balls.
Yes. And maybe next week we can draft the AOL names of people that we think are still on the list. Great job. Good luck. Walrus Balls. Fuck you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you again.